For 40 years, a locked door on a college's third floor has echoed with footsteps every night at 2:17 a.m., dismissed as a myth until students realize the real horror begins when the room somehow learns the name of anyone who lingers nearby. When one student finally opens it, he finds only a chalkboard covered in a single name being written over and over again, and the chalk still moving on its own. Now listen to the concluding part of the story.
Battery 63%. Then it shut off. Ria's did the same. The hallway lights flickered. The air pressure changed, and the pacing stopped completely. Not in front of the door, not inside. Gone. As if whatever had been walking was now standing still, listening. On our side, when we shined a flashlight along the tile floor, the chalk dust had spread beyond the door. Across the landing, fine white trails forming curves, lines, shapes, letters. It wasn't random. It spelled ARJUN over and over. But the last one wasn't finished. It stopped at Arju, and the dust line continued toward me. The next morning, campus security put up a notice. Third floor landing temporarily restricted. No explanation, no reason. But someone had tried to sand the carved symbol off the brick wall. They failed because it wasn't carved anymore. It was etched deep, as if burned into the brick. And beneath it, new chalk marks, not in dust, on the wall itself. A single sentence, written in neat, steady script, opened the door. That night, 2:17 a.m. No pacing, no scratching, just silence. The kind of silence that feels like a held breath, waiting for me to turn the handle that doesn't exist. 2:16 a.m. Night 11. There were no footsteps, no pacing, no scratching, just silence thick enough to press against my ears. Raya refused to come. Campus security had chained off the stairwell earlier that evening, but chains are designed to stop people who want to obey. I didn't. I reached the third floor landing at 2:14 a.m. The air wasn't cold. It was neutral, like something had balanced itself. The carved symbol on the brick wall seemed darker now, deeper, permanent. I placed my palm against the door. No frost, no vibration, nothing. And somehow that terrified me more than the pacing ever had. There was no external handle. But the lock plate was old, reinforced steel from another era. I brought tools. It took 8 minutes. At 2:16 a.m., the final bolt loosened. The door shifted inward slightly, just enough to breathe. And from the crack, warm air flowed out, not cold, warm, like a room that had been occupied. Recently, 2:17 a.m., the door opened. The room, empty, 4 walls, concrete floor, one wooden chair in the center, and the chalkboard mounted on the far wall. No dust disturbed, No footprints, no vents, no hiding place. I stepped inside. The door closed behind me, not slammed, just clicked softly. The temperature remained normal, but the silence inside was different. Alive. I walked to the chalkboard. It was covered, top to bottom, with my name, Arjun Mehra, repeated hundreds of times, layer over layer, some faint, some bold, some overlapping, all in the same steady handwriting. I touched the chalk tray. Empty, no chalk. The first letter, a sound, soft. Behind me, tick, like chalk tapping wood. I turned slowly. The chalkboard. A faint white line appeared at the top. No hand, no chalk, just dust forming, an invisible pressure moving, writing, letter by letter. A. My chest tightened. The line continued. R. The dust thickened, defined. J. My legs refused to move. U. The sound wasn't scratching, it was deliberate, controlled. N. My full name already covered the board. Yet it wrote again, slower this time, as if savoring it. It hadn't learned my name from sound. It learned it from proximity, from presence, from attention. Each night I stood at the door. I gave it data, distance, fear, focus. The pacing wasn't restlessness. It was calibration, mapping consciousness. And now I was inside the calibration zone. The name finished. Arjun Mehra. Then beneath it, new letters began forming. Not repeating, not copying. A sentence. I watched each letter form as if pushed by breath. W-H-Y space D-I D space Y-O-U space O-P-E-N space M-E. I didn't, I whispered. But that was a lie. The door clicked again behind me. Locked. No handle inside. The chair in the center of the room shifted slightly. 1 inch. Toward me. The chalk resumed. Faster now. Every inch I stepped back, the writing accelerated. Like before. Distance mattered. The closer I was to the board, the slower it wrote. The farther I moved, the faster it filled the space. It wasn't responding to sound, it was responding to space between us. I stumbled against the back wall. My hand brushed over something carved into the concrete. I turned the flashlight. There it was. The same symbol carved into the brick outside. A circle. 3 vertical lines, but inside the circle. Tiny names, hundreds of them, layered, carved deep. Students, initials from different decades, some barely legible, some fresh. And at the bottom, space, empty, waiting. The chalkboard slammed with a sharp crack. I turned. My name had disappeared, wiped clean. And in its place, the symbol, drawn perfectly, The shift. The air thickened, pressure inside my ears. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Battery 63%. The exact same number as night 9. Time 2:17 a.m. Frozen. Not progressing. The chalk tray filled suddenly. A single piece of chalk rolled forward, stopped at the edge, waiting. The chair moved again, facing the board. Invitation. The truth. It never needed to leave the room. It needed someone to enter it. The pacing wasn't movement. It was rehearsal. The footsteps I heard, they were mine. Projected, learned, replayed. The room didn't contain something. The room recorded something. And now it wanted to archive me. The chalk lifted again. No hand, just pressure. The board cleared. One word appeared. S-I-T. The chair scraped louder this time. Closer, the door behind me no longer felt solid. It felt distant, like it belonged to another hallway, another building, another version of campus. I didn't sit. I stepped toward the door instead. The chalk erupted into frantic movement. Lines crossing, names appearing rapidly. Not just mine, Ria, other students. Names I recognized from class, names I didn't. The writing overlapped violently, layering, etching into the surface. The board cracked down the center, and in the split, darkness, not absence of light, absence of depth, infinite. The whisper returned, not from the board, not from the wall, from directly behind me, perfectly clear. Stay. The temperature dropped instantly to freezing. The door vanished. The chair stopped moving. The chalk fell to the floor. And in the darkness inside the cracked board, footsteps began again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause. 8 back. The third floor landing was sealed permanently. No official explanation. Maintenance report listed the storage room as structurally inaccessible. The door no longer exists on the landing. Just brick. Solid. Unbroken. But if you stand there at 2:17 a.m., you can sometimes hear it. 8 steps, pause. 8 back, and if you stay long enough, the whisper tests your name. Carefully, letter by letter. And somewhere inside that sealed wall, a chalkboard waits, with space left at the bottom, for one more name. Tell me something. If you heard footsteps outside your door at 2:17 a.m., would you open it? Or would it already know you're there?
As you have stayed with me this far, please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel, The 60 Second Scare.